Thank you for joining us on the Spreading the Gospel Network. I am Michelle Chris Kirkpatrick. I'm the visionary with the Complete Woman Conference. This is our internet radio show, Naked But Not Ashamed. I apologize about that. I almost forgot the name. I'm excited to be here this afternoon. I have Lisa Davis with Evolve Me. She's going to talk to us about staying healthy since we're preparing for, our summer months. We're preparing, to get our sexy back. And she's going to tell us what we can do and what to expect so we can move forward. Lisa, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell us about you before you get started about, getting on us about exercising.
Well, first, I would like to thank you for inviting me to this experience. So I'm glad, I'm grateful that you thought of me in a time such as this. But for those who don't know, I am Lisa McLamb Davis, founder of Evolve Me LLC. It is a wellness strategy agency that God had put in my spirit with the mission to help believers, they can be non-believers, but people who want to overall improve their overall well-being in 5 various areas, but mainly for myself is physical wellness.
Okay, and you said that you've got 5 areas. So explain to me the 5 areas, Lisa.
Okay, there are 5 pillars that I, when I assess someone regarding their wellness, physical health, spiritual health, mental and emotional health, social, and financial, because those are like usually primary domains that impact us the most.
Okay, hey, I need the financial and the wellness. I think, but I don't know all the spiritual things, but I say that I'm on the right track. But I can see how all those things work together so that you'll feel better. So that makes sense. Evolve Me. I never knew that. Wow, that's amazing. That is truly amazing. So just to give us a little nugget of what your assessments look like.
Well, when you come in for assessment or you request an assessment from me, we will address those 5 areas. And I do what I call a wellness wheel. So, a wheel is circle, right? And each section, we address the 5 domains. And you are scored. You give yourself a score from 1 to 10 based on the questions. And if you're not a 10 in all of them, like when you're driving or you see a wheel, if there's any dips in it, it's not going to go the way it should go. Mm-hmm. So just imagine if you got a dip in this area, you're not going to be working right. You're going to be kind of lopsided, But in order to get yourself to that area, we focus on what needs to happen. I don't provide much of the direct service outside of physical wellness. I am a social worker by profession. So with Evolve Me, I am a wellness strategist. So that means I'll come with you, we'll do the assessment, and say if finances is an area that you are struggling with, I would identify a financial entity that would best work for you based on what your finances already look like or what it is that you're trying to do. If you are someone who is struggling socially, you're an introvert, but you want to be more social, you need to make connections in your community. You may be new to the area and you don't know about what's going on in your community. I will connect you and link you to those entities. But regards to physical wellness, I am a certified fitness instructor and hydration and nutrition consultant. So those are things that we can sit and we can talk about, develop a plan. I also offer one-on-one coaching in that area. I'm willing to work out with you if you want to, but I'm willing to meet you where you are, because everybody's not going to go to the gym, and some people just don't want to go to the gym. And I know with the population that I am leaning towards, is people who probably would never go to the gym, but they understand now that they need to do something. Something is better than nothing.
Amen. Lisa, so you spoke about the being a hydration consultant. So what is that exactly?
We talk about how water impacts your body, like how important it is. We measure what's going on right now as far as your water intake and how it impacts various diseases,
Mm,
um, overall health, like how you feel, a lot of things. Water is very important, and sometimes and I'm a witness to this. I'll go through spells when I'm doing fine, but I deal with some issues when I'm not fully hydrated or hydrated enough. I go through some things, and I know that's common among a lot of people. And some people just don't like water, and we have to
exactly.
get past that.
Lisa, so with that being said, not asking you about your personal, but so what are some things that you can expect if you don't drink enough water?
Oh, water impacts your overall look, your skin. Your body is the large, mainly water. So you have to give it back what it's already made of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it impacts a lot of things. Your overall, like I said, your skin, your organs. You need to drink at least, I believe, it's 3 quarts of water just to be hydrated enough for your organs to function correctly.
Okay.
So it aids in weight loss. It aids in making you feel fuller, so you don't overeat. It cleanses you is a part. It helps with detoxing and helping things move through your excretory system in the right way.
Okay, okay, I like that. So the key is to just drink water, drink water. And then, and you're right, because, over the summer months, it's easy to drink water, but if you're at home, as we have been home for the last 2 years because of the pandemic, so we've all been on the inside. So
Mhm.
it's been harder to get out to work up a sweat, and we have to continue to drink water anyway. Is that correct?
Correct. Regardless of working up a sweat or not, we need to drink water. And what I found works for me sometimes, like I have this water bottle right here. Like sometimes I'll carry this with me, and it gives me a false sense of how much water I've actually ingested, because I'll carry this and I'll be like, "Dag, I really haven't drunk if I've only drunk this all day." This is I believe, like a 24 ounce.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes when you carry or you put water in a bigger jug,
Oh,
it helps
okay.
you to say, oh, I tried. My goal is to drink a gallon, but I'm not going to say that I do that every day. But if you see a gallon of water, you be like, oh, I need to drink some more. It'll
Mm-hmm.
put you, it's like a mind thing. Be like, oh, okay. But if I just have this in here, I drink on it and be like, oh, it needs to be filled up. I might get up, fill it up. I might not.
It
But
just depends, yeah.
yeah. So you have to find tricks that help you. Some things may work for a little while. Like sometimes I'll carry the big 1 gallon jug, and I'm like, I'm tired of carrying this, and I'll put it down and carry something else. So you have to constantly evaluate where you are in that and how your body is working. Now, some people say, oh, I can't drink all that water. I'll be going to the bathroom all day. Well, the reality of that is initially you will go to the bathroom a lot because your body is not used to drinking that much water. But if you remain consistent with that, you won't go as much. It'll come to a point where you're back on your regular course, whatever it is of how many times you go to the restroom. But initially, yes, you will, because your body is not used to it. And I would say, don't stop. Don't say, oh, I'm going to the bathroom too much. No, I almost peed my pants. Keep drinking it. In a couple days, I promise you, you will not be going to the bathroom as
Oof,
much.
I'm that, well, I have moments that I'm okay with it, but I've got one viewer that's saying I'm so terrible with drinking water. I got to do better.
Mhm.
So, Lisa, so do you recommend that we put those powdered drink flavors with the 0 calories in our water if that's what it takes?
If that's what it takes, like I said, you have to find ways that to say, okay, I'm going to do this. And if you're someone who say, I don't like the taste of water, but I don't know what water really tastes like. I don't like the taste of water. Yes, do something that's going to say, okay, well, I can drink this. This tastes good. And you will find eventually at some point, as you continue that, you can be like, okay, well, I'll drink this bottle. I'll put the flavor packet in. Maybe my next bottle I won't.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to play around with it. But whatever you need to do to get your water in, I would encourage people to do. And I'm not the type of person who says, oh, this one lady I work with, she did not like to drink water at all. So saying drink 8 glasses of water was like, almost cussing her out. Like, what you want me to do? So I was like, no, just drink one. Drink one glass of water. If you're drinking none and you drink one, that's an improvement. And then once you become consistent with that, then you add on. Don't try and be like, okay, Lisa said drink a gallon of water, I'm going to do this today, because you know you're not going to do it.
Okay, so we just got to just try to do better. Baby steps.
So if you're already drinking, maybe you're drinking 2 of these. Be like, okay, I'm going to do 2.5 the next day. So you have to figure it out. And that's what I help people do, to make realistic changes.
And so based on our weight, how much water should we be drinking anyway, though?
You should really be drinking, I forget the exact number, but close to a gallon of water a day.
Okay.
3 quarts, that, well, that supports your organ functions and things like that. But 3 liters will support your organ function. And if you're someone who is trying to lose weight, you are going to drink half your body weight plus.
Oh, wow.
So
I guess I'm behind. I better tighten up.
So just put it this way: if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water a day. And saying, if you're drinking only 16 or 20 ounces a day, don't say, okay, now I need to get all this water in. No, it's because now so now you have to think differently and prepare yourself differently.
Mm-hmm. So actually, this whole healthy thing and the water drinking thing is psychologically, it's what you're telling your mind. Because see, I know with me, and we're going to, get onto this in a little bit, Lisa, but with me, my problem is I sit in front of the TV. I'm constantly like, I'm a snacker. I'm like,
right.
We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that, because that's my problem.
That's a lot of our problems. It's just because not even that you're hungry. It's just, oh, it's here. I'm sitting here, so I might as well eat something, right?
Yeah. So, okay. So since we're here, so what are some healthy snacks?
That's something that you have to think about. What would you eat that's considered healthy? Now, if I said, oh, get you some carrots and stuff, like, you'd be like, I don't eat that. Okay, that's fine. I want popcorn. Okay, well, let's look at a healthier choice of popcorn. I won't tell people you have to cut everything out, that you just can't have anything. Initially is about changing. Small changes yield large results. So if you're used to chips, cookies, and all that kind of stuff, be like, okay, well, how much are you eating a day? Let's look at that. And what I usually encourage people to do when I start working with them is to keep a log of what they're eating. No condemnation, whatever it is, at least 3 days a week and once on a weekend. And I was like, don't change your habits, because sometimes I find that we eat things and we forget. You think about, especially if you work in an office or something, you go into someone's office and they got a little candy dish, you pick up that mini candy bar, and then you think about you went to their office 4 times, so you done had a whole candy bar for real. But when you think about what you ate and you want to write it down, that's something that you would not even remember. You'd be like, I really ate nothing. I had nothing sweet. Yeah, you had a candy bar. Or you ate something. So what I encourage people is to get a realistic idea of what you're eating, how often you're eating, and when you're eating, how do you feel? Like when you say, oh, I'm getting ready to eat this, so it's going to be so good. Well, how did you feel when you ate that? What were you feeling before? And then afterwards, did you feel guilty about eating it? Did you get sick? Or did you say, okay, I'm not going to do it no more? But then you went back into the bag 4 more times. Those are the times we have to get a realistic idea of our eating habits and our relationship with food.
Oh, wow. So having the relationship with food, it can be either a good relationship or a bad relationship. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you a question, because I know that we said that the whole water was like a psychological thing. But with that being said, is the food a psychological thing as well? Because we try to trick ourselves. I'm not eating as much or something like that.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. We try and in our head, we're like, oh, this is not that bad. I'm not doing this. But the body tells. The scale won't
Yes.
lie, but the scale is not the only factor that we should look at. I rarely weigh myself. I have a scale and I don't get on it. I consider other things when I know that I've overdone it and need to get back on track.
Okay, Lisa. So I'm gonna be honest. I am a bread. I love rice. I love Hawaiian rolls. I love cornbread. And if I can eat them every day, I would. But I know that's not good. I know
Right.
that.
I like fluffy foods. I always say palate pleasing pleasantries. I like cake, I like cookies, I like bread. And the thing that helps me with that is I won't buy it. Because if it's not in the house, you can't eat it. Now, if you're out somewhere, like you're going out to dinner, you're out or you're at someone's house, you eat it then. But once you get home, you can't go for seconds. Can't go for thirds.
Wow. You know, Lisa, and that's why I go like to Walmart, because the bread is like in a section by itself, right? It's up in an area by itself to where you can't really like walk to it. I mean, it's an intentional act. So I try to stay away from that. And I understand that we need to eat more grain versus white food.
Right.
So does it matter if it's fluffy food, if it's grain food? How does that make a difference?
No, well, fluffy is fluffy. But I would say when you are buying your bread, if you're someone like who eat toast and make sandwiches and things like that, look for the multi-grain bread, not the Hawaiian rolls. Hawaiian rolls are a treat because they're so good, right?
Yes.
If it's something that's like, oh, this is so good, that's something you really shouldn't be eating regularly. Hawaiian bread shouldn't be your go-to bread every day when you go to make your meal or whatever. And I know some people love rice. They are like rice fanatics. They eat rice. I think my daughter is one of those, could eat rice every day. I could care less about rice, but I did find this one rice that I really, really like. And it is a wild rice blend or something like that. And it takes like 45 minutes to cook. And it is absolutely delicious. Now, white rice, brown rice, jasmine rice, basant, what is it? The bee rice, I don't have to have it. I can like totally skip over it. But I know rice is something a lot of people like to eat. And what I suggest is if you are a rice person, do not have that type of starch for dinner. At your last meal, eat that earlier in the day.
Oh, wow.
Eat it for breakfast, have for lunch. But when it comes to dinner, that's when you should focus on your protein and your vegetables.
So you saying I should eat my rice with my butter and my sugar on it?
I'm not telling you what to put on it.
you said that we should
have alternatives to that, but if that's how you like it, then you will really have to focus on your serving. Like, how much are you eating? Is it a regular serving? Because my understanding, a serving of rice is like a quarter of a cup. So are you doing a quarter cup, half a cup, a whole cup? So you don't have to tell me, but that's something that you would need to think about. But also, yes, do that earlier in the day as opposed to, I'm going to have this rice for my dinner. I'm having some Salisbury steak and rice.
And gravy.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Lisa, so, okay, now being serious here, okay. Lisa, so so what can we do to get our emotions in check so we're not becoming binge eaters? Because I'm almost certain that so many people have been home for the last 2 years, because of the pandemic, and now the gas prices are high, and all we're doing is sitting in front of TV eating, and we're not staying active. We're just constantly eating. So how do we get our emotions in check?
Yeah, like I said, usually when we overeat or, eating emotionally this because something is eating us. Oh. So we have to figure that out. You might be able to talk through it, examine what's going on in your life. Like you said, you're home most of the time, so it's there. So that will take a conscious effort of saying, okay, between this time and this time, I am not going to eat it. I know I want it. It's sitting right over there on the table. All I have to do is go get it. But no, I'm not going to eat it. And then it may be something deeper than that you might need some type of therapy to address.
Okay.
And we know with the way the pandemic had things, a lot of therapists are willing to do the virtual visits. So that's something someone might want to explore, because usually eating like that is not something, it just didn't happen during the pandemic. It's probably because we're home.
Yeah.
So it's to the front. We see it now. Like maybe in past we'll be on the go so much we didn't really recognize it. But it's like, okay, if it's home, I'm gonna eat it.
Exactly right. And see, and
Mhm.
that's so easy to do because whenever you're stressed out or when things are going on in your personal life, that's when I think that I know
Mhm.
I can say me, I eat the most because I
Mhm.
got a lot going on and I don't know how to exalt that energy.
Mhm.
So I just gotta, I guess, just get myself in check. Now, even with the whole exercise thing and eating, Lisa, do you recommend journaling to get things in check so we can begin to identify our problems?
Absolutely, absolutely. Journaling is a great start. And like I said before, usually when I work with people, I request that they write down how they eat, what they're eating. But if you know that, I said also write how you're feeling during that time. What time of day was it? What were you thinking about? What was going on? During that time. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes I'm hungry. So I got the food, it's time to eat. But something, it could be like, I just got this bill and I just don't know what's going on. I don't know how I'm gonna pay it. Let me just grab this and eat it. What was going on? What were you thinking? Or I got a phone call about someone being sick or whatever the issue is. And it doesn't always have to be something negative. It'd be like, oh, I got some good news. Let's celebrate, girl. Let's go out. Let's
Yeah.
go get that cake. Any reason to have a cake, right?
Yeah.
So we have to think about again, that's our relationship with food. So why are we doing these things? Why are we not um, making healthier decisions for our bodies?
And you can correct me, but so the healthier our relationships are with people and ourselves, the better we're going to feel about our food. Is that correct? And we're going to be more, vigilant about eating more healthier. Is that correct?
It could be
Okay.
if those are stressors, but you could just be someone who just like to eat. You like it. It's something you don't find a problem with it. You just like to eat.
Okay. Okay. I can see that, Lisa. I
Mhm.
can definitely see that. Now, so with the whole spiritual piece of it, and how do you tie the spirituality into the this whole aspect of it? Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Question. Okay, isn't it true that we should have 3 meals and a nutritional snack in between?
Some people ascribe to 3 meals and a snack. Some will say break it up into 6 mini meals. I always tell people there are a lot of options. Everything that works, something might work for one person, might not work for another. So there are things to explore. There's also fasting. Fasting should be a part of your life. And if you're fasting, if you're living a fasted life, or you are doing particular type of fast, you have to take that into consideration. So I don't say this is it, 3 meals, 2 snacks, that's it. You shouldn't do anything different. No, because that might not work for you. It might not even work for your lifestyle. So we have to figure out what works for your lifestyle.
Hmm.
What are your goals? If you're trying to lose weight, let's talk about that. If you're just trying to maintain, let's talk about that. If you're trying to gain, let's talk about that. So to just say 3 meals, 2 snacks, that's it, I would not say that's it and just that's what we should do.
Oh
It's
wow. And
different for
and
everybody.
that's very interesting because we read all the hype about, let's say, we're gonna not eat for, is it 8 hours or 10 hours?
Mhm.
Does that help you? Because sometimes I think the less we eat, the more weight we gain. Having, being a person, and we can't say, well, I got big bones, so I'm, big anyway, but that doesn't
Yeah,
work. That's a myth. I know
that
that.
is a myth. That has nothing to do with hair size. I have a funny story about that, but we'll talk about that later. But I done forgot the question. What you say, Michelle?
So you're so silly, girl. So the whole fasting piece, if a person truly
Okay,
wants to
okay.
lose weight, how much, so what type of fasting should they be doing?
Um, that varies. I know what you were describing sounds like the intermittent fasting, where
Mm-hmm.
you fast for 16 hours and you have an 8 hour block. You know, some people say you can eat whatever you want during that 8 hours and it's all good. And some people make the mistake. You still need to pick wise choices.
Okay.
Don't overdo it. And yes, if you don't eat enough, your body is not going to lose anyway. It's going to say, okay, I don't know what they're doing, but let me hold on to this fat. So those are things that you have to look at. It is really all about calorie deficit, regardless if it's fasting, in fasting, eating small meals, whatever. The thing is, you want to burn more calories than you're eating. How you do that can vary.
But okay, so some people say that we shouldn't count calories, but I mean, to me, that's hard. That's like, I'm not gonna say mission impossible. I'm just being honest, because it's like, being a Afro-American lady, we like to cook and add butter and fry and grease and all that bad stuff. And we know it's not good for us. So how do we change our dynamics of cooking from away from, the fat stuff that's not good for us?
Right. One thing that I did, it was like years ago. Right now, I don't eat meat, and I don't like tell people, "Oh, you shouldn't eat meat." Your decision is your decision. But what I did is one day a week, and this usually help people. One day a week or one meal a day. Not going to eat all, the high caloric stuff that I know I really shouldn't have, that I really like. So it might be like, okay, during the week, I'm not going to eat like that. I might, treat myself on the weekend. Well, not really treat myself. I'll eat that way on the weekend. Or one day I can say I'm going to eat more vegetables and, more whole foods. That does include meat, farm fresh or however they say it. So you're going to cook, you're going to focus on what you're eating, and you're going to focus and try new recipes. And that's the thing, I think a lot of people get so caught up, well, that's how my mama did it, so that's how I'm gonna cook it. Oh, that's how I like it. And you don't open yourself up to try different things. When I start eating, I think it was like a meatless Wednesday or meatless Monday, something I did, it helped me to explore other options. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, wow, that tastes good. I may have never tried it if I didn't make up in my mind I wanted to do something different. So you have to be open to experience new things. You have to be open to alter your recipes. You might find out that doing it a little different way, it might even taste better, but you would have never known that had you not tried. So
Okay, so I might have to try me a meatless day, So I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna try and just see what happens because
or you might not say, you look, one whole day might be too much. You might say, I'm gonna do a meatless breakfast, or I'm gonna do a lunch. Well, it's easy to do a meatless breakfast. People be like, okay, I'm gonna have a shake, or I'm gonna have some cereal. I'm just not gonna have a sausage. But so try like lunch or dinner. Be like, one meal, one day a week. I'm gonna try it, and that gives you an opportunity to explore a restaurant or a recipe.
Okay. And Lisa, so
if you don't like it, you just don't do it again. You be like, I don't like that, so I know I don't like that, so I'll try something else the next time.
Lisa, so is there any certain amount of fiber that we should intake in a day? Is there a certain amount of grain? Because see, being over 50, I know that it's harder for us to to maintain and be sexy again, if that makes sense. What do you recommend?
Sexy is a mindset. If you feel sexy, you are sexy.
But that bottom stomach don't say that, girl.
Look, I heard men. Look, I've read and heard men say that bottom stomach don't mean nothing. They act like they're a mechanic, lift it up and keep working. So it's a mindset, but I understand. But your body image is your image. So if that's something that you feel uncomfortable about, that you do it for you.
Okay, yeah.
And sexy is a mindset. If you feel sexy and confident, you be that.
Walk in it, queen. Walk in. I like that, queen. I like that. Woo-hoo. I like that. Seriously. Okay, so we spent some time, just talking about the whole, the eating piece of it, Lisa. So now let's dive into the whole exercise and movement Tell me about the movement piece of it.
Movement is so important, especially as we age, Michelle. You know, you and I being in our 50s, you know, when we were younger, it was easy to get up and bounce around and do this and that. But now you get up, you be like, wait a minute, it take a second. You know, you put your feet on the ground, on the floor, you be like, well, your steps is real soft. And you're like, okay,
Yeah,
get my balance. But
yeah.
as we get older, things change. We need to be moving. And on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, I do a Zoom for dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretching is like warm up, like before you warm up to do an exercise. And that's like, good morning. Let me activate my body. Morning activation. Let me get stuff moving. So you have to move. For your joints, good joint health, you need to be moving. For mobility, especially as we get older, we want to prevent falls. So we need to do some body resistant, weight resistance, weights, bands, or just your body motion, just to keep things stable. You need it, especially as you get older. And yes, there are benefits if you're trying to lose weight, that working out, exercising to some degree increases the calories burned.
Okay.
That you may have eaten or that you might want to eat. So you can balance it out, find out what you need to do to be more active. And I know you had mentioned a piece regarding the spirituality of it. First Corinthians, let me see, 6:19-20, it tells us that our body doesn't belong to us. Our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So it's a shell that God allows us to manage, but it don't even belong to us. And we take it and do anything, we give it anything we want. Holy Spirit be saying, I don't even want that cookie. I don't want that Hawaiian roll. Why you keep giving that to me? Now you're not going to be able to complete your assignment. God was going to have you go do this and that. You're going to be too tired. You're going to be like, after you eat this meal, you're going to want to take a nap. So those are things we have to listen. Holy Spirit be like, oh, here we go again with this. So we have to allow God to be a part of our health. And sometimes we don't. You had mentioned how people say, oh, so, this is in my family. No, my studies have shown me that sickness and diseases, it's only like 5% impact of you, in your well-being. You can't say, oh, well, diabetes, hypertension, all that run in my family. Yeah, because y'all eat the same. And you are probably less active than your great-grandmother. She was on the go. You sitting there in front of the TV. So yeah. And you eating the same recipe because it's so good. That's why it runs in your family. I had a visit with I think it was like a weight clinic. I forget. It was some type of clinic. And I was talking to a doctor and he told me about, genetics, the impact they play, only 5%. And he said, think about it this way. We'll just pretend our kids were really young. We're into this new lifestyle. We're trying to eat better. Our parents had high blood pressure, diabetes.
Yeah.
I don't want to have high blood pressure. So I'm changing my habits. I'm eating different. I'm not eating all that. Every now and then I might have that, but most of the time I'm eating different. Now I have a child. Their children, if I continue to eat this way, that's all they're going to know. Exactly. So when they have children, guess who's not going to have diabetes? Guess who's not going to have high blood pressure? Someone has to decide to break the curse.
Oh, wow.
And you can be the one that break the curse by just making changes that's going to impact the next generation. Right. So, when you get together on the holidays and it's like, have other options.
Okay.
Or we get together on Sunday, have other options. Be like, okay, this is good. We all need to do better, because I think of your granddaughter, think of Gianni. If you start now, she starts eating differently. More than likely, when she has children and then they have children, they won't diabetes. I'm not saying that you have diabetes, right? But whatever our family history, it won't be a part of their history.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what, Lisa? And that's so funny because my son, he texted me this morning. He's a fitness, I'm
Right.
sorry, a
I
strength and
follow
conditioning. He's a strength and conditioning coach
him.
person. And so, he's fit, but believe it or not, he does not eat healthy at all, which is odd for somebody of his stature. But I'm saying that to say he does drink smoothies every day. And his daughter, she's 3 and she drinks smoothies, but the days her mom take her to school, she eats a donut every day. So this morning he texted me. He said, Mom, he said, look at your granddaughter. She's mad because I won't stop by the donut shop and get her a donut.
Look, she better learn. Okay, it's not donut daddy. Daddy is not donut day.
Right. But you look at it's got to be a family effort. Everybody's got to be on the same page. I was saying that to say everybody's got to be in agreement with, okay, let's say one day a week we're going to, overindulge in it. And so we have to be intentional with our actions. And as you stated, God lent us this body for a little while, and we have to take care of it because he doesn't want us to put all that grease and stuff inside of us and all the medications that we have to take because we made some unhealthy decisions. And so we got to be more vigilant and making better decisions in the things that we're doing. So that does make sense.
Absolutely.
I can see that.
And once you start taking one medication, that medication is going to have side effects that's going to require you to take another medication. And then another medication. And then you are at some point saying, okay, I got to get these 10 scripts filled for something you could have managed basically by eating different and having some movement in your life, or you wouldn't even have to deal with that all. So either way, you're going to pay. People say, oh, well, I can't eat like that. It costs too much. Actually, it don't, because if you're eating more fruits and vegetables, that's cheaper than meat. But
yeah.
So you have to make an effort. And like you said, it has to be, if you're living in a house with people, they have to be on the same page.
Right.
At least trying,
right.
At least trying. Like, I don't eat meat, but my daughter, she still eats meat, but every now and then she'll be like, oh, I'm gonna eat like that one day. I'll be like, okay. Now, had I stopped eating meat before she came into the picture, she wouldn't be eating meat either. But I would never like say, oh, well, we're not doing this. So
yeah. Lisa, now for the listener who is listening and they've got, let's say about 15 pill bottles. And so what do you recommend to them to lower their diabetes? To get their blood pressure down and get their diabetes numbers in check. And so what do you recommend?
I recommend that they be obedient to what the doctor told them to do. I look at it like this, Michelle. God is so good and he loves us so much. We get sick, we go to the doctor. The doctor says, because if they're taking 10, 15 minutes, it didn't start off that way. Right. The doctor says, I need you to eat less of this. I need you to eat more of this. But usually when people receive a diagnosis, they're like, oh, no, the devil lie. I ain't going to believe it. If the doctor said you have it, you have it. And you're not going to pray it away. It is real. We live in a fallen world. Sickness and disease is real. And you have a disease. So what you need to do, people like, I'm gonna be delivered. You can be delivered. Guess how? Being obedient. The doctor said, eat less of this, eat more of this, and do this. But sometimes we don't choose to do that. And then we go back to the doctor and the numbers are even worse. And it's like, well, now you need this. Yeah. And then now you need this. But all you had to do is be obedient. If you would have been obedient and be like, okay, I'm changing my diet. I know it's hard. I'm not going to get it right every day, but my goal is to get it right most of the time. I'm going to take this medicine for now because I decree and declare that my body is healed. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to get moving if it ain't, but walking my driveway, my parking lot, whatever it is, once a day, then increase that and go back to the doctor. And if the doctor would be like, okay, I see some difference. Then that should encourage you to continue on that track. But for a lot of people, Michelle, it don't because they have this relationship with food. Say, for instance, say your mother is good fried. She cooked fried chicken better than anybody. Then
she do.
And then she cooked this chicken every Sunday. That don't mean every Sunday you got to eat it. You already know what it tastes like. You know it's good. So why do you have to taste it every time it's cooked? You don't have to. and you know, that's a mindset. You're like, oh, so and so makes good cakes. Yeah, I know what that cake tastes like. Yeah,
Like,
it's good.
there's a certain restaurant in Greensboro. When I get through Greensboro, every now and again, I have to stop by this cake place. I have to stand in line for cake, and it's like I gotta get past that because, like you said, it's a psychological thing. But now this girl in my hometown named Robin, she got a cake shop. Baby, she got this 7 flavored pound cake. It is to die for, I promise you. But and I asked her one day, I said, Robin, can you mail me some cake to Charlotte? Yeah, she go, Miss Michelle, I sure can.
Yeah, but the thing is, she mailed a cake. Now you gonna sit there eat the whole cake right then, or you gonna eat a slice today, slice tomorrow? Yeah. See, and and so when you're in situations like that, you say, well, how much am I gonna eat?
Yeah.
And I remember when I first became like really saying I'm not gonna eat this. This was years ago. I was like, oh, I need to cut back on the sweets or whatever. If I bought like some cookies, whatever, I would eat a few and I would just throw the rest away because I knew as long as I had them in the house, I'm gonna eat them, and I'm gonna eat them until they gone, and be like, oh well, they gone now. So I would eat them, throw it away. I wouldn't even bring it in the house and be like, oh, I can't. And I'm the type of person, I'm not gonna get up out of my bed to go get something to eat. That's not me. I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
Some people will, but I'm not. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Maybe I'll get it when I go out the next day. So you have to plan to stay well. Something else I wanted to say, I think it's 3rd James verse 2. I know I said 3rd James. It's only one James. 3rd John.
Oh,
3rd John. You was looking for 3rd James. You was gonna say that ain't in the Bible. Verse 2. It says, let me get to it. 3rd John verse. Oh, went up to it. It says, my friend, I pray that God will help you to live well, to be healthy. I know that you are well in your spirit. Yeah, we got the spirit thing. We love God, but I pray that your body is well also. Oh, wow. So your health and your body is important. It's important to God. Mm-hmm. And I say that because we're all here on some type of assignment. And we will want to fulfill that assignment, whatever it is. And so God may say, well, I wanted you to go over here, but you was dealing with that illness because you weren't obedient.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
You got stuck here because you had to do these treatments and do this, and you wasn't feeling well. You can't really walk that good, but I wanted you to go over here. So we have to think, and is God pleased with me? Is God pleased with how I'm living? Am I fully available? I'm available to you. I can't sing, Lord, I'm available to you. Are you really? Are you really available?
Wow.
How about that?
Wow. Lisa, so a viewer asks, what foods do you eat to ensure you obtain the appropriate protein in your meatless diet?
Protein and meat is a trick. Oh, wow. I eat the same thing that the cow eat and the
grass, chicken,
grains.
But isn't chicken meat?
Yes. And what do they eat? What do chickens eat? Grains.
Yeah.
No animal eats. Well, there are animals that eat meat because they're carnivores, but I'm talking about the meats that we consume.
Okay.
Chickens don't eat chickens. Chickens don't eat beef. Cows don't eat cows. Cows don't eat chicken. They eat grains. Protein, you can find protein in beans, legumes. Some of your vegetables are high in protein. Chickpeas is one, high in protein. And like I said, if you explore a meatless day or whatever, you will find out that there are the vast things that you can eat. And I'm not even talking about those. Now you'll see in the store, there's a lot of processed meatless stuff, like you'll find the chicken patties and all that. And that's good every now and then, but you don't have to do that. That's the stuff that's expensive. And you think
Yeah.
it's still processed.
Mm-hmm.
It's processed too. So if you're thinking about eating whole foods, you think about the foods that you buy that don't have a label. That's
A
where
label.
yeah,
Meaning like fruits and vegetables.
fruits and vegetables. Start there. Increase that. I'm not saying if you're a meat eater, I'm not saying, oh, just stop eating meat. And
Okay.
start increasing that. Let that be the larger portion of your meal. Cut your meat maybe in half, then in, quarters, and you will sustain. I think a lot of the meat that we eat it. If we ate it in its natural form, we wouldn't eat it.
Mm-mm.
See, in order for us to eat meat, it has to be seasoned, right? You got to get the
Yep.
lorries, you got to get all this. But usually in your fruits and vegetables, what you season your apple with?
Peanut butter.
Okay, but what I'm saying is you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have to do a lot to eat that. Now, if you just had a piece of chicken and you just put it in the oven and took it out and didn't put nothing on it, you wouldn't eat that.
No, it would be hard. Now I can do with no salt because I'm
Yeah,
okay with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a good start. Not using salt. Is this seasoning at Trader Joe's that I think is good on everything.
Oh
And it's
wow.
called the 21 Salute Season. That stuff is so good. Try it. When you cook with that and then you don't cook with it, you will know the difference.
Oh wow. And it's
You'll be
called the
like,
what
oh,
now?
21 Salute.
21 Salute. Okay.
Trader Joe's, $1.99.
Lisa, so okay, so question now. So earlier you were discussing stretching. So should we get up out of the bed stretching intentionally so we won't be stiff throughout the day?
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean,
Well,
so why?
because you want to get your blood flowing, you want to get your joints and your muscles warmed up,
Okay.
so you are stable and you can get through the day. And we know we wake up stretching anyway.
Yeah. So are you saying about 5 or 10 minutes stretch every day, or like 20 minutes stretch every day, or just stretching?
Just stretch it, and it doesn't have to be 20 minutes. If you wake up in the morning, like when I do my stretch, is a whole like program, but the actual
Oh wow.
stretching, the dynamic of
Mhm.
part of it, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And when I do it in the morning, it's 30 minutes, but I go through a process because I incorporate body scanning and praying, all of it. I incorporate all that, but the actual movement part may be 15 minutes,
Okay.
maybe 10 minutes, but yeah.
And
So you
doing
should.
like let's say some let's say some high intensity stretching, is that just as good as exercising?
It could be if you're a beginner.
Okay.
Because you look, if you are used to not doing anything, you are not going to do anything in high impact or anything. So moving, the dynamic moving, that I would say dynamic stretching, what it would be the same thing, you just do it more than once. So as like when I do it in the morning, I'm just doing one set. We just going from head to toe, stretching
Okay.
it out. So as a person who's trying to get active, you might do 3 sets a day, 3 rounds, and that would be good enough. That would be a start.
Just starting. And that's something that we should do, let's say every day, 3 days a week. Would that be good, or just a start? Right, it's just a start. And Chris always says, mama, it's the consistency. Mama, you gotta
Oh yeah,
stay consistent.
that's what's going to make the difference, being consistent. So first you have to, in your mind, you have to say, I'm going to start. And then map out, be like, okay, I'm gonna do this every other day. And then every other day might become, okay, I'm gonna do this 5 days and I'm gonna rest on the weekend. But you do consistent, you're only gonna get results by being consistent.
Okay.
It's not every now and then be like, oh, I think I'm gonna do it today. No, when was the last time you did? Oh, it's been about a month. So my thing is, like, if you have a calendar or something, or put it in your phone and let it be like, okay, today is the day, I'm gonna get up and stretch. My alarm is gonna go off. I might have to get up 30 minutes earlier and do this. And you do it that way.
And you tied in the stretching and the prayer and the meditation just to get your day started, and that's an awesome way to get your day going is because you are now up moving, and then you got, okay, God, I'm communing with God, but then I'm still sitting down, taking time to hear from God. So that's all that all plays in together, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. God, we have to incorporate God in our wellness. He's a part of everything that we do. And sometimes we leave him out of our wellness. We think that, he don't have to be a part of this, but he does. He's the one who can tell you where you're going right and where you're going wrong. I did a group earlier this year with some ladies, and we went through Kathy, what's her name? Kathy Morenzi's book, and she's a health coach. We went through one of her books, and she talked about, have you ever asked God how much you should weigh? Have you ever thought about that? Like, what should you look like? What should your weight be? We have these scales and things like that, charts that they tell us, which is not always, accurate. But God will tell you. He'll say, okay, this is what I need of you.
Oh, wow.
To fulfill my plan. I need you to be this size. How you look is how you look, Some things are genetic. You got big hips, you're gonna have big hips. But they ain't gotta be super size, You can downsize and keep your curves.
Say downsize. I need to downsize my hips so I can keep my curves.
If you curvy, you curvy.
Right.
But the most important thing is being healthy. Being healthy is not a particular size. It's not a tag inside your clothes. Being healthy is internal, is when you go to the doctor and you get those numbers. And for I've never had, even when I'm still overweight, but even when I was really overweight, I never had any issues with my blood work. But I knew if I continued and I didn't make any change, if I didn't make any changes, one day I would.
Okay.
Because that's just how it is. Lisa, as we get older, things work differently.
Now, so being, a trainer, coach kind of person, Lisa, what's the biggest challenge you see with people, and how can people overcome that challenge?
The biggest challenge is just what your son told you: consistency. Being consistent. Sometimes it's okay for a while. You gung ho, and then something might happen. Something might throw you off. Like you may have planned to do something this day, but an emergency come up. Life happens, right?
Yeah.
And then you miss a day, and then something else. You be like, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it next day, and that just throws you off. So you have to be consistent and committed to getting back up. This week might not have been a good week, but I declare next week, I'm going to get it in today. I'm going to get it in the next day. I'm going to schedule myself into my schedule. And some people don't do that.
Oh, wow.
If you're running a business, you the big boss or whatever, and you scheduling, you got time to see X, Y, Z, at a certain time, you need to put your name on your calendar. Put your name on your calendar for an hour. And the thing is, we will do what we want to do. We'll go stay an hour at a nail salon. No problem. We'll go and do whatever we want to do. That's like, ooh, fun. Schedule yourself in to say, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go walk for 30 minutes.
So we have to make ourselves our priority. Our health needs to be our priority.
Right, because we are 100% responsible for our wellness.
And, and being, us both being minorities, we've got to teach that to our children so they won't have the issues, as you stated earlier, so that they won't have the issues. But some of us, it's easier to go to McDonald's or, go through the drive-through or
I'm a witness. Yes, it is. Because I'd be like, oh, sometimes when I pick my daughter, I'd be like, girl, where you eating today? And I am. And it's not good, but we have to do better. We have to consciously do better, make efforts to do better. And small changes yield big results.
And so what's your take on meal prep?
I'm not a meal prep person. I can't do it because my thing is it works. It definitely works.
Okay.
But for me, it doesn't work because I don't want to eat the same thing every day for 5 days. I can't. And the thing is, I can have it sitting in front of me, prepared. I'm not gonna want it. So that would be a waste for me. So if I would never, it does work. So for people who can do it, I'll be like, yeah, that's a risk because you don't have to think about anything. You already have it planned out. You got your meal, you got your snack. It's all laid out for you. But there needs to be some type of preparation. You know, if it's not eating with the meal, I know a lot of people with the meal prep, they cook for the whole week. We just call that leftovers, right?
Yeah, we did.
But I, you know, usually with leftovers, usually after the second day, you don't want that no more. And that would be me with my meal prep. I would have wasted money because I'm not gonna want it. And I know some people scale back. They make do their meal planning for 3 days and then 3 days. So if that might work, but you have to have some type of plan. You shouldn't just get up and be like, well, what I'm going to eat today? Well, what is it going to look like? Your wellness works better with a plan. You can say, okay, today is Taco Tuesday. We're going to use some jackfruit and make some tacos.
Okay, I didn't see that.
You know, I say jackfruit. It could be something else for you. So, you know, you have to have it planned out. It should never, when things come up, we know life happens and you know, you might have to go to that drive-through. But overall, you should really be thinking about what am I going to eat this week? What do I need to have in my house that will allow me to have healthy choices?
Okay, yeah, but you gotta but you know, it starts with you. Everything starts and stop with us because we have to learn to make ourselves a priority, and you know, being happy and healthy should be our priority because that's what God, wants us to do, not requires, but that's what He wants us to do. He's like, I'm giving you something here on earth. This is your body, and look how you take care of it. So why would I give you anything else?
Right.
That's a good way to look at that. Ooh, Lisa, this has been, I was going to take a break, but honey, it's almost our hours up. Lisa, so, you know.
It sure is.
Wow. Lisa, so, you know, just in closing, the next couple of minutes. So tell everybody how they can reach you and just give, if you had to give a 2-minute elevator commercial, tell us a commercial that would close out and then how we can reach you.
Okay, well, how you can reach me, I am on social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. I don't even know my Instagram thing. I think my Instagram is Lisa B. MC Davis. Yep, Lisa B. MC Davis. Facebook, I am Lisa McLamb Davis. I do have my Evolve Me page up yet, but I'm not actively working on it. I will be soon. You can call me. No, don't call. Text me if you are interested in having a wellness assessment. You can contact me via text at 704-891-4661. And in your text, just state your name and say Evolve Me. Evolve Me. Name and Evolve Me. 704-891-4661, and I can help you strategize your wellness plan. What else did you say, Michelle? You know,
Lisa, you are amazing. I'm going to say you are amazing. You need some fish so you can think. You need some meat.
No
meat, but Lisa, thank you so much for this time. We've really enjoyed it. You dropped some really good nuggets, and you saw me jotting down notes so I can go back and remember. But Lisa, thank you. You've been amazing, and I look forward to talking to you soon because I need some therapy with some spiritual healthy healing.
Okay. Well, I plan on doing a group again soon, and I will make sure I contact you directly.
Good idea.
That. Okay.
And thank you, darling.
All right.
I'm Michelle Kirkpatrick. I'm the visionary with the Complete Woman Conference. And thank you for joining us on the Naked But Not Ashamed Network. We're excited to be here, and we look forward to talking to you next weekend. Thank you.